You would think so. Booking for the casuals is so whatever how you pronounce this word, fiercely defended even by wrestling legends. Fiercely defended by wrestling legends like Booker T and Eric Bischoff. These casual fans are the bread and butter, right? Yes, they are. I mean, you're quoting Booker T and Eric Bischoff. These are guys who know what they're talking about. They've been in the business and they were actually a part of some of the successful times in wrestling history. So of course they would say shit like that, and they know. They've had multiple experience knowing that shit. Why do you think they're known? Casual fans aren't growing the wrestling business. Wrong. Casual fans aren't really growing the wrestling industry. WWE books to casual fans. This has been well known. So where has this gotten in the past 2 decades? A decline. Let me stop you this right here. Now, as you see in this picture right here, I don't know how it is from your guys' perspective. Sub MGT Gaming, but still, like, let's still okay. Dessert 24. Hello, Spectral. Hope you're all to do. No, you're having a great day. Hold on. All right, well, back to the point. See, the attendance audience is simple. From when you're from like May of every year after, let's go after 2000, like from like 2000. This was at their peak, and they started slowly going average. And you see the average went down from 01 to 02, 03 and all that, but has constantly picked out backed up. So A, you're already kind of shooting yourselves in the foot. So yes, it's still growing to people. But the problem is that with a culture shift like wrestling was at that time, it was going to go down. So this is just fucking wrong. Hello, Miguel Rodriguez. I'm assuming you're the Miguel from Twitter, unless I'm wrong, unless it's a different one. But still, this chart shows that if you care to casual wrestling fans, you're still getting it or whatever. But a decline. Credit to Chris Harrington for putting all this info down. But this infograph tells it all, and there's more to come. We see the expected boom average audience during the Attitude Era, but after WCW brought up, and after a terrible invasion angle, the number plummeted by 2003. Numbers rose a little since 2003's low point, but when it comes to audience by 2012, WWE had lost half their audience in a 10-year span in 2022. Audience figures have mostly leveled around like 5, 6 per Raw and SmackDown. You grow your larger figures from larger markets like New York and Los Angeles, but the bottom line is that the numbers haven't risen much in 18 years. Numbers have gone from a steep decline to a slow descent. Gee, I wonder why. Because they start catering to the marks. Okay, you're not the Miguel from Twitter I like to clown on it sometimes. Alright, the downfall of wrestling's a little bit of John Cena, a little mainstream opinion reckons 3 to 4 million. Yeah. Okay, so this graph again shows that is the complete history of WWE like Raw from like 1995 to 2015, courtesy of Brandon Thurston at WrestleNomics. As you can see, it's the complete show down roll post AE. Yes, okay, like the ratings kind of fluctuate up and down, but here's the thing. Again, do you like NFL? I don't really like any of those sports except for maybe NFL. I don't mind it, but I don't watch football. That's not for me. But like back to the ratings. Like from the 90s to like 2015. Did you ever notice a trend, a certain like show style? Why do you think the Attitude Era works so well? Because I'll tell you why. It fully catered to casuals. Before the Attitude Era and after the Attitude Era ended, it started like slowly not catering to the casuals, which is why it lost the audience. Gee, what a shocker! I can agree with you on that. But still, they do want to be technical. Wrestling started to well, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong technically. After like WCW died, wrestling was going downhill. But back to the point of this graph here, because no DQ seems to fail. Like they're trying to be smart here. They failed to realize why did it go down. And the reason being, again, it catered to like the hardcore fans slowly but surely. Now wrestling was still good after that, but it slowly became much more focused on the matches here and there, like a little bit more bit by bit. And not to mention, it was pushing more work rate guys. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit were work rate guys. Now Guerrero has personality, but he's still a worker guy. And when him and Benoit was champion, ratings plummeted in 04 when they were champions. It took like Triple H just to save the show until Batista came along. Let that sink in, okay? It's like after after WWE declined from like starting with like 2002 shit. There's a reason for it again. You gotta look at the fucking stats here, okay? And John Cena and Batista, yeah, they helped for a little while, but again, you started being more and more work rate, like, you started introducing more of the ECW crap into your product. You started, like, again, you hired more of the work rate guys. Again, CM Punk, you had him. You started putting more emphasis on work rate guys, okay? That's the reason why. Crackmouth Punk is one reason. Well, that's just one guy. There's many reasons. It's, again, the overarching theme of technical wrestling. So now we got another one. You want 2016 to 2020, you got it. It's the same downward trend. It's simple. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be January 2008, but again, look what happened. Why? You catered to those wrestling fans, the diehards. And what they wanted was this woke women's revolution. The work rate guys like Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, like all those guys to get world title shots, like Ziggler being prominently featured. Like, these fucking like fans don't have a clue. And this is the reason why I have this series for a reason. Like, it's idiots like this that just don't seem to get it. Link to the full size image. But still, like, you see all these graphs, and I have to explain why. So, well, that's generally stating, like, why. Exactly. Guys like JD from where? I say certain things in the Attitude Era help cause the downfall of wrestling. Outside of the fanboys, nothing from the Attitude Era's TV really caused the downfall of wrestling. It's just the fucking dipshit fans. That's just a problem. So, like, I know you're trying to be like, oh, super smarty pants, but no. Dim is fighting words. Modern wrestling, exactly. It's just fucking hell. They don't, like, these fans don't seem to get it. Okay, continue reading. Now, luckily, attendance figures for premium live events have held fairly steadily for your big four, and even Royal Rumbles 2020 have brought over 40K in large market. Again, those are in big arenas. And again, it's generally when that's like the most, watchable times in wrestling. That's like when like most people tune into wrestling is like the Rumble, SummerSlam, Mania, and Survivor Series. Maybe not Survivor Series these days, but like the other three, yes. Like there's a reason for that, especially the Rumble. Like, come on. Casual fans. But as Scott Sanders put it, the numbers don't lie. WWE has put on a downward slope in a record into attendance, TV ratings, and for the most part, PLE attendance. So sends live events and markets for nearly 2 decades now because they can't get out of their fucking beds because they're all a bunch of fat asses, much like NoDQ.com. They're a bunch of fat asses. You gotta leave talking, like, come on. It's all right. You're joining at a good time. I still got plenty of this to read, so we're going to be here for a little while. So think of this as my Christmas gift. If you miss anything, you can watch like the first 20-something minutes of this just to catch up. So if booking for casual fans is necessary, then why hasn't WWE grown their audience in over 2 decades? Geez, smartass. I wonder if I'm going to repeat myself. Because you're not catering to casuals. You're catering to the marks. Slowly but surely, like fucking retarded. God, I'm gonna repeat myself over and over. How much of the fan base are casuals? Let's see. I'll answer about rare. It's like about 3%, maybe 1% at most. Glenn Disco Inferno Gilberti once called AEW fans super uber ultra marks, as if he wasn't a super uber ultra mark for himself. Shut the fuck up. All right, bitch. They're gonna disagree with Glenn Gilberti on this take. Fuck off. Like, I don't agree with everything Gilberti says himself on his wrestling takes, but like, again, he knows what he's talking about. Like, fucking sure, he's a jobber in wrestling. Okay, that's what he fucking was, a jobber mid-carder. But you know what the guy is good at? Being a smart person. So fuck off. At the time, where most fans were just laughing at him when he was a wrestling person. Well, that's the point of his wrestling gimmick. He was a comedy wrestler. Jeez, he's Disco Fever. You expect to take this guy seriously? No. The only time they try to make him take seriously is in TNA early on, and no one watched. But yet again, no one watched early TNA in general, so fucking who cares? But like, come on, it's a comedy wrestler. Like, come on, really? That aside. Yeah, sure. That aside, asshole. Yeah, that's right. Casuals are money. Fucking. That aside, let's ask another question. Ratings are down, attendance have been declining even slowly. Any profits on WWE end have been coming from lucrative Saudi Arabia deals and notable increases the ticket price. This means higher gates. Yes, that is true, because smart business decisions, not a bad thing. How many casual fans even make up the fan base when the industry has been in decline for some time? Oh gee, there's rarely any casual fans, and if they do exist, they don't even watch most of the time. They don't exist. Like, come on, how do I have time to repeat myself? This is a hard to answer without empirical data, but Punk may have been half right about this. If booking the casuals worked, then clearly we should have seen similar numbers to the 80s Hogan era and 90s Attitude Era, right? Yet the numbers don't reflect that. So where did WCW close shop, and where did the ruthless aggression era fizzled out? Could it be just that entire generation, just Gen Z, just outgrew the product in the 2000s and now are watching MMA? Number of events. So it shows from like 2014 again, like they keep just growing in this market. I don't know what this is all about. I'm gonna just look at this quickly. Oh, this is the UFC plug. The UFC plug. Showing off the UFC facts. This is exactly what I'm saying. The reason why UFC